Hey guys, this is OddOneGaming. This is going to be another Raid Shadow Legends video. Today I want to show you a team that's pretty amazing and pretty fun that I was playing around with, and honestly I did not min-max this team at all. And that is a team that I used to one-key Brutal Hydra 100%. It was, you know, towards the end of it, I just had to click when somebody was eaten, because it can get a little bit dodgy when somebody's eaten and there's only 2 turns. And it's just a team that I basically calling it a free-to-play friendly team, in the sense of more than half of this team are champions that are free to obtain, and they're pretty easy to obtain, most of them. Like, one of them is a little bit niche because you can get that champion from like the faction, what's it called, the token trader, and that's specifically Molly herself. However, that champion is replaceable. But you know what, enough beating around the bush, let me show you the team that I'm talking about. And I guess the best way that I'm gonna do it is I'm just gonna show you the champion over here, then I'm gonna show you the run, and then we're gonna talk about how this team was working, why it was working like this, what you can use and what you can replace. So basically I was using in this team Arbiter, a free legendary that everybody has. Like, okay, I understand she's 6-star fully awakened, but she's in my arena build, she's just fast, just speed, that's about it. Then I have a Mithrala that I just randomly put in a Guardian gear in this team. So we're gonna go through the build later on, but it's basically Arbiter, Mithrala. This is the Embode, which honestly I think she's one of the most underrated champions for Hydra. She is just amazing. She's a beast. Then the other one is Artak, which everybody got an Artak. He's an amazing champion. Then we have Molly Tankard, which is a champion that, like I said, you can use her from, you can get her from the token trader, or you can replace her. It doesn't have to be Molly. You can use somebody like a Coronar that does a similar job in this team. You can use somebody like a Bivold of the Thorn if you build that one, and they kind of the similar job as her. It's just I used her because, you know what, I've seen Nubraids use her and I've seen some other people use her and be talked about, so I said let me give her a shot. And then the last one is the good old Ugo. I guess Ugos can be replaced as well. Like, everybody in the team can be replaced, but I feel like this is not a team that you can say like, oh my god, it has so many. Yes, it has 5 legendaries, but like I said, 1, 2, 3, 4 are easily free to obtain, and then the 5th one is somebody from the token trader, and it's brutal and it's full auto. So, you know, let me just play the round for you. I'm gonna play like 5 minutes of the round so you can see the beginning and how it looks towards the end. Then we're gonna come back, look at the damage that we did, and then we're gonna discuss the builds and replacements. So see you in a bit. Okay, and we are back. Look at this damage, 35.1 million damage. And as I mentioned, this team can do a lot more because not everybody is perfectly built. Not everybody is built specifically for this one. Most of the people are built for stuff that I use in the other game. Like at least half of these people are built for stuff that they use in the other game. Just the other ones are built specifically for this. And the damage itself, 35.1. Like I said, because it's full auto, or you know what, let's call it semi-auto. Because like I said, towards the end, I clicked certain people. It's a pretty good team. The top chest is 29.4 on Brutal. And being a team that's done in, as you see over here, 20 minutes, you just click it, play it, and go away. Definitely a team that's worth it. And honestly, if you build everybody's a little bit better, and specifically for this one, it should be like a pretty good one key most of the time. It's not a perfect team. It works really good on this rotation. I believe it should work really good on other rotations, but obviously it depends a little bit on the RNG of the rotation, the heads that come out, the affinities as Hydra is in general, a little bit RNG. But overall, we have 5.4 million damage from Mithrala, 6.7 from V6, Arbiter with barely any damage, 628,000, Molly with 1.1, then we have Artak, which is obviously our main damage dealer with 18.4, and then Ugo with 2 million. So you might look at this and be like, yeah, it's a little bit scary, what if Artak gets eaten and all that? Well, the beauty of this one is the fact that having Mithrala in there with her Hex, and having V6 in there with her AoE hits, kind of gives us the opportunity to do damage to release our champions. We're having lots of Brimstone in there, plus the decreased defense from Ugo, plus lots of turn meter going from Molly and Arbiter. It just makes this team work pretty well. This team does not have anybody for the Head of Torment, as you saw, to deal with the True Fear. However, we have Mithrala and Ugo, who both do cleanses, so they can be the ones that can help us deal with the Head of Torment. Otherwise, we just ignore it and deal on with our day. And honestly, I run this team 2 or 3 times, and I always did the 1 key. So it's a pretty good and pretty reliable team, and I would definitely advise people building it. So overall, I'm really loving this team because I love when I see champions that are free to obtain, easy to build, that most of us have, that can come together to build a team like this. This is kind of the same situation with, I'm not sure if you guys have seen my my previous video, which was, I called it the world's first Hydra Hydra team that was kind of like everybody should have those champions at the time when I built it, and it was the team that used Mighty Uko, Bivald, Lydia, Shamel. This one was Geo, Husk, Royal Guard, and then Mother Sybil, or again V6 could come in here. This was another variation of a team, and this one even worked on Nightmare Hydra. It was a different team at the time. It didn't have the Duchess, Krisk, Sifis, you know, all the top tier OP legendaries that people were using. So this team is kind of something similar. Right now it's called Hard Hydra because that was my Hard Hydra team. I just switched some stuff around for the sake of this video, and I was pleasantly impressed. So let's have a look at those builds. So as I mentioned, Arbiter is just in her arena build. Speed, perception, as fast as I could get her with some reaction, even though at this speed the reaction does not really matter. And then when it comes to mastery, she's down to support mastery. So Arbiter should be your arena Arbiter. It doesn't matter that you don't have her 6-star awaken. It doesn't matter that you don't have her 380 speed like I have mine. If you have your Arbiter like 310, 20, 30, it should still work. Maybe you might need to give her a little bit extra survivability, but the beauty of this team is you have Molly as a backup reviver as well, in case your Arbiter has a little bit of a problem with that. Then we have Mithrala. Mithrala, as you can see, again, she's not perfectly built for this. I would prefer to have Mithrala with a War Master, but right now I have her with Eagle Eye. That's some stuff I was using on her for Arena. If you had War Master on Mithrala as well, the damage would ramp up so much more. Like, I would believe that, maybe I'm exaggerating by saying double, but honestly, I think maybe she would even do double the damage that we saw. So instead of just doing, 5.4 million, let me see, yep, she might get closer to 10 million damage, because War Master can wrap up a ton, especially because she has AoE on this one and then double hit on this one. So keep that in mind. And honestly, I built her in Guardian. It's not even the perfect Guardian. I did not go on the optimize. I just threw 4 pieces of Guardian on her with some, with some perception. She barely has any crit rate. She barely has any crit damage, any attack. It just, like I said, just put some pieces together to test out a team without trying to give her the most OP gear that I have. And it still worked. Like, you've seen, maybe if you followed all the Hydra challenge, you've seen Upbraid's builder in, I think it was an Instinct. which ignores some defense. She can smack as well. Like Mithrala could be somebody that you can bring as a second damage dealer in there, funny enough, but she also brings lots of utilities with Hex, increased defense, increased attack, cleanse, strength, and shit. Like, she's just an amazing champion. And honestly, most of you, if you've been playing for like, let's say a year and you have her, you should be able to just build her and use her for that. Then we have V6, which again, she's one of the most underrated champions in the game. She's the one that brings us the AoE decrease speed, and we all know how important decrease speed is for Hydra. Getting them to move slower gives us the opportunity to move faster. We have no increased speed in the team, but we have tons of turn meter going from Arbiter and Molly, and I'm gonna show you why Molly's so good as well once we get there. But the AoE decrease speed is an AoE hit, which allows her to, if she's under 50%, heal herself from masteries, put a decrease speed, and she also brings ally protection. That's extremely important. The ally protection helps mitigate some of the damage as well, and that means we can survive more. Like you saw, we're getting hits from the Head of Wrath, and by having ally protection and the decreased attack and the increase, we basically have all the good stuff happening in this team. We managed to survive and do the job. Then what she also brings, apart from this one, she brings another AoE hit that provokes. So she's a backup provoker in case Molly does not land it, in case Molly gets eaten. We don't have to build somebody else in a provoke set because we have V6 with a backup provoke. And honestly, I built her in a reflex, which means she barely uses her A1. By having her in reflex, there's a 40% chance she's going to reduce the cooldown on one of her skills. Well, this one's 3 turns, this one's 3 turns, so most of the time she's going to be doing A2, A3, A2, A3. So lots of AoE hits, which means lots of War Master hits. These are the masters that I'm using on her. Again, this can be tweaked. You can even have, you know what, you can even have V6 built in a Savage set, because V6 can hit hard, especially with the increased defense that we get from Mithrala. She's just an amazing champion. I just chose Reflex because I wanted to show something different. And again, I had some leftover pieces of gear. These are the stats. I don't even have 100% crit rate on her. Again, I did not go crazy to build her OP with like 6k defense and like 300% crit damage. I could do that, but I wanted to show some relatable stuff. Then we have Artec. Again, Artec is one that's not built specifically for this. Artec is in a build that I was using doing some testing for Ice Golem, for other stuff, for PvE in general. And that's why he's in regen. Well, if I wanted to build Artec specifically for Hydra, I would give him Reflex or Relentless. Or maybe even Provoke if you wanted some other backup Provoke. Or if you don't bring somebody like a Mithrala, give him the Curse set. Give him he could be the person who brings you Hex. And these are the stats that I'm running on Artec. It's pretty fast. Like, look at this. High resist. This was definitely, I was testing Ice Golem. And then some survivability and accuracy to land his stuff. And then when it comes to masteries, obviously War Master and down the support sheet to give him more accuracy, more turn meter when the debuffs go off and all the good stuff. The reason why he's so good, like most of you already know, he does not only bring the AoE HP burn, he does not only have a chance to extend his HP burns, he activates HP burns, but not only that, the decreased attack that he brings is huge. This decreased attack gives us another layer of protection. So that's why Artec, everybody has Artec, is amazing for this. Then we have Molly Tankard, which honestly, Molly was built for my arena team. So Molly was built in my arena team like a year ago. I built her. She was still in most of the gear that she has. She's still from the, what's it called? From the shield set, from the anti-hedgy teams. She's still running the reaction piece of gear over here. She still does not have other masters that you want. Maybe some War Master, maybe some other masteries. Like you might even go with Unshakable on her, because the way that I'm kind of using Molly is to be my Mischief Tank and Provoker. Because she brings a unique buff on herself when she does the Provoke, which is the reflect damage, she can be in the Mischief Tank. So this one could be Reflex, like we've seen now Braids builder in a Reflex. This one could be Reflex. This one could be Guarding Gear. There's so many ways that you can build her, and obviously she could be a lot tankier. Right now, I just gave her the, what's it called, the resistance, so we can resist the buff steal, and then the accuracy, and then she's pretty fast. But again, this is not pretty tanky. You could build her a lot tankier and build her specifically for this. If you're not using her in arena anymore, she's a god for Hydra. Keep that in mind. Molly is not somebody you would sleep on. And honestly, if you don't have a Molly, like I said, you can use Bible of the Thor, because Bible does the same thing. When he does the provoke on the A2, he puts Strengthen on himself. That's unique. I guess the only tricky thing with him would be the Mithril also brings the AoE strength, so it might not work as well. Or if you have a Coronar, when he does the provoke, he puts block debuffs on himself. There's no other block debuff on the team. He could be a Mischief Tank. But honestly, what I'm seeing most of the time, Molly or Mithrala were the ones being attacked. So yeah, this is the Molly build. Again, masteries, not the ideal ones. It's just I left her in the build it either for arena. And then the last one's Ugo, that brings us the decreased defense, the block buffs. You kind of want block buffs, even though you have HP burn, because you want to block all the nasty stuff that the Hydras do. Like Head of Wrath puts increased attack, you want to block that. Head of Suffering puts reflect damage on himself and air protection, you want to block that. You're not going to always perfectly time it, or Affinity might make it tricky, but still, you have block buffs most of the time and you have decreased defense most of the time. And I chose to build Ugo in a reflex for this one with high HP. The reason for that is Ugo on the A3 heals as well as cleanses one random debuff plus all heal reductions, which Head of Decay plays. So the higher HP you have, the more heal you do, because Ugo heals based off her max HP. It says here, heals all allies by 30%, by 20% of this champion's max HP. Keep that in mind. Don't build her if you do the optimizer with survivability. Go balanced, give her the speed and accuracy and resist if you want, and then just scroll the HP to the max and get as much HP as you can on her. And then when it comes to masteries, again, War Master, and then down the support tree, I chose to go a little bit this way because, you know, more healing when there's like true fears going on. This one to reset, this one for a chance to get turn meter, and obviously Sniper for a higher chance to land the decrease that what's it called? Not bleed. What am I talking about? That leech on the A1, and then obviously Master Hexer to extend all those debuffs that she places. So yeah, this is the team, guys. This is the wonky semi-auto, let's call it. But like I said, this team can be easily full auto wonky on brutal, as long as you build everybody properly and correctly in the right sets, right masters and everything. And it's a pretty fun team. I really love it. I hope you guys enjoyed it as well. Leave it in the comments below if you like this team, if you want me to try and do more teams like this that work more around champions that 99% of us can get for free. Like I said, Molly, okay, let's exclude Molly from the team because it's the token trader. But if you want me to build teams like this one using mostly free-to-play champions, let me know. Let me know what difficulties you want me to try, what champions you want to try, and let me know if you want to see more Hydra videos, because if nobody's gonna watch them, then I'm gonna be sad. Anyway, thank you all for watching. As always, guys, if you do enjoy my content, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel to see when I upload next, and I'm gonna see you on the next one. Peace, love, take care everyone. Bye, guys.